the disgusting details of that was accused of Donald Trump. And think about what Kash Patel said to this guy.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file. I feel like that wasn't ever what was talked about. But suddenly, as you heard the, I guess, pseudo-lawyer talk that Kash Patel had there, according to case files that I have access to, according to what I know. I mean, I don't know so much, and also I don't have any access to anything that's happening with the Epstein estate, but that's all that I really know. So unsurprisingly, did you guys remember this part? I didn't know that this happened right afterwards. Thomas Massie then asked Patel for more details.
Director Patel, I watched some of your Senate hearing yesterday when Senator Kennedy asked you, you've seen most of the files, who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these women to besides himself? You replied, according to the transcript, there is no credible information that he trafficked them to anyone else. You also said somewhere in the hearing and here today that the problem is that the case files are constrained by limited search warrants from 2006 to 2007 and that the non-prosecution agreement hamstrung future investigations. Those constraints only apply to the Southern District of Florida. They do not apply to the Southern District of New York, the location of the 2019 sex trafficking indictment, which produced many things, including a series of FD 302 documents. According to victims who cooperated with the FBI in that investigation, these documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO of Barclays Bank, who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to, victims including minors, such as Virginia Roberts Giuffre, may she rest in peace. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada.
It's odd. They have all these, I guess, positions and potential names of people that were a part of this trafficking and that were clients or participants, culprits, rapists, pedophiles involved in this whole thing. So Thomas Massie there completely dismantled his excuse about how they don't have any access to it and the reasons why they couldn't do it before, all that stuff. So this is Kash Patel's answer once he's then cornered with all this information that flies in the face of what it is that he told Senator Kennedy and also, I guess, Thomas Massie too.
We know these people exist in the FBI files, the files that you control. I don't know exactly who they are, but the FBI does. Have you launched any investigations into any of these people, and have you seen these 302 documents?
Sir, I have asked my FBI agents to review the entirety of the Epstein files and bring forth any credible information, and we're working with Congress not only to divulge that information and produce it to you, but any investigations that arise from any credible investigation will be brought. There have been no new materials brought to me launching a new indictment.
So is the loophole here, or is it your assertion that these victims aren't credible, that the 302s maybe didn't produce credible statements that rise to a probable cause?
It's not my assertion, sir. It's the assertion of two different United States attorneys' offices from 3 separate administrations who investigated those same materials in lifetime.
Are the 302 documents in the FBI's possession?
They reviewed all that, yes, sir.
And so have you reviewed those 302 documents where the victims name the people who victimized them?
If I personally know, but the FBI has.
So how can you sit here and in front of the Senate and say there are no names?
I said
I named one today.
I said we are not in the practice at the Department of Justice FBI of releasing victims' names. That is not what we do. We are also not in the habit of releasing incredible information. That's not what we do. But multiple authorities have looked at the entirety of what we have.
Okay.
Kash Patel, made his entire life or half of his political life outside of getting back in any kind of power off of how he's going to come down hard on this whole thing. But Cash still didn't have enough curiosity to go into the files themselves. I mean, former FBI agents have looked into it, former administrations have looked into it. So I just figured, well, they probably did an okay job. Whatever it is that they found, I don't know. Does that make any sense? For all the fire breathing that he was doing before and all the promises that he was making, and he would get into the bottom of this because other administrations screwed this up, which I'm sure they did. So why weren't you the one to finally get to the bottom of this whole thing? Because suddenly he doesn't have much curiosity anymore about what it is that's in there, who's involved, the names behind it. Someone else did it. I don't have any time. I'm just here talking to you. Does any of that make any sense to you? I feel like there's more and more people that it doesn't make sense to, and that's probably the reason why there's reports like this floating around now about Kash Patel.
MS Now has just learned that FBI Director Kash Patel may be out of a job in the coming months. 3 people with knowledge of the situation say President Trump and his top aides have grown tired of Patel and the unflattering headlines he's been generating recently, including using a government jet to visit his girlfriend and enlisting a SWAT team as her security detail.
I feel like it probably goes a little bit further than him using airplanes to fly his girlfriend around and also using government officials as some kind of protective service for that same girlfriend. I feel like it stretches further than that because we also know how Donald Trump wants people to protect him at all costs, even though he keeps screwing up any aspect that they have to protect him with, any other lies they could potentially tell, and he blames them for it. So maybe we'll see what they said in the report. This from NBC News, MS Now, I'm sorry. Patel has come under scrutiny for his stewardship of bureau resources, including his girlfriend's security detail and use of that government jet, and for his squabbles with other Trump loyalists. Trump and the White House aides have confided to allies that the president is eyeing removing Patel and is considering top FBI official Andrew Bailey as the new bureau's new director. Patel is described as being on thin ice, and his ouster appears closer than ever, with Bailey as the logical replacement. 2 of those sources, of course, said that as well, though Trump could change his mind in the weeks to come. I feel like him potentially changing his mind in the weeks to come, probably, or at least delaying it or finding some other way and reasons to get rid of this guy would be because everyone's talking about it now. Here's a little bit more. White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson responded to MS Now saying, President Trump has assembled the most talented and impressive administration in history, and they're doing an excellent job carrying out the president's agenda. FBI Director Patel is a critical member of the president's team, and he's working tirelessly to restore integrity to the FBI. Did any of that statement say anything about how he's not going to fire his ass or find some other way to get rid of him? They need to be a little bit more definite, direct, and accusatory in the way that they push back on these reports of Kash Patel potentially going away. That's where Caroline Levitt comes in. She comes in firing. She says this story is completely made up. In fact, when this fake news published, I was in the Oval Office where President Trump was meeting with his law enforcement team, including FBI Director Kash Patel. I read the headline to the president and he laughed. He said, "What? That's totally false. Come on, Kash. Let's take a picture to show them you're doing a great job. Do not believe the fake news." So there's the picture apparently that they took that he's doing a great job because, taking a picture with someone proves that there's no plans for you to get rid of them as they've continued to bungle all kinds of things and you continue to look really bad because of the potentially very disgusting and nasty things, illegal activities that you were involved in over the years. Just saying. But maybe they won't fire him. These are just reports. I can't fully rely on that to be the particular case, but I do know this isn't going too well for him. They're probably looking forward to these vacations and holiday seasons to come up so they can distract some more from this as they try and hide. Because remember, it's 30 days they have to come up with these things, and the clock has been ticking for about a week already.